beautiful pre-spawn smallmouth right here. Hooked up, fish on. And look at that, we're catching crappies, we're catching smallmouth. Lots of fish going. What is going on, guys? Today we are back with another video. It is a blustery day. What are we doing today? We are not on a Great Lake. We are not on a major river system. We are back on an inland lake. First time this year. And what are we fishing for?
We are fishing for bass and hopefully other species later. We'll see.
Yeah, so the plan for today, we're out here, like I said, Wisconsin has an early catch release bass season, which has just opened up officially, like, well, partially last year, but fully this year. So you can come out and target smallmouth whenever you want, and it's a catch and release season. Obviously we never keep smallmouth, but yeah, we can actually come out and fish for them. So the ice went off this lake 3 days ago or 4 days ago or something like that in a really big wind. Today it's me and Shelby. We got the pups with, and hopefully we're gonna be banging just a whole bunch of these early season smallmouth. The water's like 39 degrees ish, somewhere in there, and we're gonna go into where we're looking for them and what we're using to catch them. But are you excited?
Very excited. Stella's first day on the boat.
Yeah, we got little tiny pup with. I'm passing the mic out because it's so windy. I don't want the audio to be bad. But stay tuned. We got to look for some fish. We got to find some fish. We got to catch some fish. And we might actually pull out of here, depending on how we do, relatively early on after we catch some of these fish, and go do some early season crappies as well. Just a good old-fashioned multi-species day. My favorite kind of fish to fish for is all the kind of fishes. I like mixing it up, doing different stuff, going different places. Do you as well?
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
you ready?
Fun with that.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right, well, like every day, you start out looking for the fish. Now, where does smallmouth go this time of year? There's a couple different locations. One would be like deep rock. But a lot of times after a couple of days, these fish, you know, it doesn't take a lot of warmth to pull these fish up into kind of that 8 to like 12 foot zone on a lot of this clear water stuff. And that's kind of where we're gonna be looking right now. And we're kind of cruising along. This is a weed edge that meets rock. Anytime you have two kind of structural elements coming together, a lot of times is a good thing. And I got solid weeds off my left right now. This kind of pocket in the weeds is off my right, where I think these fish are gonna be. There'll also be a little bit of rock out my right as well. But basically we're just cruising through it right now, looking for fish. Hopefully the audio is all right in this just insane wind here. All right, so I'm kind of approaching my weed edge here. Not seeing, okay, we're starting to see, this is looking decent. This is looking decent here. I mean, what we're mainly looking at right now is side imaging. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, oh my gosh. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and take a screenshot for you guys and show you this pile of fish. Now they're kind of scattered out and around. There's one little hard spot of rock you can see right here. But for the most part, it's this fish just all lined up just off this weed edge. And that's exactly what we're looking for. So I've obviously got those fish waypointed right now. Wind, real heavy wind from this direction. So we want to be casting backwards. Anytime we can cast straight backwards, we have much more control with what we're doing. Right, Shelby?
Yes.
Shelby agrees with me on that one. She didn't have a choice, though. She had to agree with me.
Yeah.
So anyways, those fish are somewhere right back in here right now. I got them perfectly lined up. Now what I can do is go perfectly perpendicular to those fish, and I'm about 50 feet this way of that mark. Now the second I start seeing these fish, my trolling motor's already down, and all right, we're starting to see them here, starting to see them. Right here is gonna work. Wow, really nice pot of fish. So what I'm gonna do is put the boat in reverse, kind of stall us out. I'm gonna simultaneously hit spot lock. Now what's gonna happen is those fish are about 50 feet this way. That spot lock's gonna kick in, keep me right here. We're gonna cast straight back with the wind. We're gonna have a lot of control. And in a second here, we should be tying into some beautiful brown bass. All right, what are we gonna be using for baits to catch some of these smallmouth, early season smallmouth? Well, generally when the water's cold, some slower presentations are normally good. We're going with two different soft plastic presentations here. I am gonna be fishing a bait which I've been very excited about, which just came out this year. This is the Tickle Tail series by Kalins, which has been around for a year now. And but this is the 2.8, a new very small kind of like micro size swim bait right here that I think is gonna be very good. And a lot of times these very small swim baits are great early in the season. The great part about a smaller swim bait is it takes much less speed to move that tail. So this 2.8 is gonna have a ton of action at a super slow speed. I'm rigging this up on a 1/4 ounce Acme Pendu jig right here. This is like this rotating head right here, which is going to be great for grinding bottom, which is exactly what I'm going to do. We kind of grinding the bottom, getting this thing to pop, and hopefully the fish are just going to eat it right there. The other presentation, which is the time-tested, very cold water bass bait, the tube, and just catches fish really whenever the water is really cold. And that's what Shelby's going to be using. I'm going to be using the swim bait. So we're both rigged up on the same combo here. The Elliott rod, 7.3 medium light fast action rod. Kind of a great all-around finesse, a little bit of everything rod right here. And 10-pound braid, 10-pound fluorocarbon leader, and the Piscifun Carbon X 2000 on the bottom there. If you guys want to pick up any of this stuff, we'll link it down below. I can get you discounts on some of it, which is great. But that's kind of the presentation. So we're now spot locked. The fish are hopefully still back behind us. We're going to be pitching backwards, hopefully catch some fish. Just make sure you're always on the bottom. Being on the bottom is, I would say, less reeling. You kind of want to like emulate this a little bit. Okay, and just let it sit still. Go ahead, back popping it kind of. Right there. First cast. Wow. First cast of my inland season, and we got a fish on. And it is the target species too. Wow, look at that. That one came on just that ultra finessey little swim bait, the tickle tail. Oh my gosh, and I wrapped him around the prop. Been catching fish on the tickle tail for a couple years now. And I always thought they should come out with the real finessey smallmouth sized one for a lot of these real cold water fish. Still, that might be the first bass you've ever seen. Might be the first fish you've ever seen almost. Look at that. It's number one. First cast of the season right there. Inland. Nice little smallmouth bass on the 2.8 inch tickle tail. Let's keep it going. Hey, so let's get off.
Oh, I do have one.
Oh, look at that. Shelby's got one right there. Your first cast?
Yeah.
Looks like a nice one, huh? Wow, isn't this something? Just got out here, ice went off the lake 2 days ago, and we're catching bass. What do you think, babe?
I am excited about it.
I know Shelby likes the basses, even though this isn't a real big one. Tube jig, cold water classic bait right there. There you go. Any words?
Reeling really, really slow.
Yeah, less of a reeling and more just popping in place. So I would describe the perfect way to work a tube. All right, long bomb cast out there with the swim bait, going all the way down to bottom. We're fishing a 1/4 ounce Pendu jig here, and we're in about 16 feet of water. Once I hit bottom, I'll just kind of jump start it like that. Oh my gosh. Right there. Basically what you're trying to do is just make contact with everything, and whether it's weeds or rocks, a lot of times I'll kind of pop out of it or just give the reel a burst when I hit a piece of structure, either a rock or a weed, and then stall it out. And a lot of times when you burst through something and then that thing falls back to bottom, that's when they bite. And we are doubled up right now. Crazy good fishing for this early. Bunch of gorgeous little smallmouth bass, some decent ones I guess, but a lot of males so far. How's yours, Shelby? About the same size as mine? You gonna do the honors of landing that beast?
Yeah, I'll get it.
It's a decent one. Look at that guy fighting down there. I'll grab the rod. Good work, babe. It's a nice fish. Can't complain about that. Back she goes. Wow, good work. Just pounding on him. Pounding on him.
I need to catch one more over here. There you go.
Ooh. This might be a nicer fish here, babe. On the swim bait. Long ways out there, too. Man, is that cool. Too much fun. Are we having fun?
Yeah.
Good. Not a bad one. Not a bad one. Look at that guy, babe.
Got it? Oh, nice one.
Real nice fish here. On that swim bait, little 1/4 ounce jig. This whole bite is just getting going. It's all gonna get much better and much better and much better.
If I can get him.
Lip them.
Got him.
You got him.
Just as it came off.
Just as he came off.
Nice one, Ben.
Too cool right there. Little 2.8 inch swim bait, just a real finessey little guy, 1/4 ounce Pendu jig. Look at that, just beautiful pre-spawn smallmouth right here for the Wisconsin catch and release season. Doesn't get much more fun than that coming out here. Not a lot of pressure, obviously there's probably nobody out here, and just a ton of smallmouth bass set up, ready to rock and roll for this water to warm up. And there we go. Back she goes. Hooked up. Another fish on here. Wow, are they biting that thing? They're a long ways out there. Throw it as far at those seagulls as you can, unless that's already where you're throwing it. Fish after fish after fish. I mean, we're still on spot number 1, so I'm sure you could just do this for hours and hours and hours if you wanted to. A lot of just kind of respectable ones. Pretty clear water smallmouth. I mean, look at that. Just doesn't get too much better, really. Can't think of anything more fun than this right now. Here we go. Come on, buddy. Like I said, this catch and release season just opened up. Well, this is the first year. It's kind of running throughout the season, but Wisconsin has a game fish closure, which starts, when does it start, Shelby? Sometime like first weekend in March. And it used to be closed, obviously, until opening weekend. And there was a catch and release for the northern zone until like mid-June to protect the spawning, which was definitely a very good idea. But this catch and release season now runs from the game fish closure throughout opening weekend, obviously. So you can fish bass in the state of Wisconsin year-round now, which is definitely a good thing. I am all about giving anglers more opportunity to fish, and this is definitely a good call. All right, well, it was a quick, probably about 45 minutes of fishing, and we absolutely pounded the smallmouths. What do you think, babe?
Great day. Hopefully I'm talking loud enough. I should talk in this.
Yeah, talk real close to this.
Okay. We had a great day.
We did have a great day, but we've only been out here for 45 minutes. Like we said, we kind of want to do a little multi-species stuff today. So we're going to mix it up. I think we're going to pull off of this lake, go to a different lake, do some crappie fishing, try to get some spring crappie stuff. I have no idea. I kind of doubt they're going to be up shallow. My guess is more so we're going to be fishing like staging areas where these fish are staging to move into a lot of these bays. You know, this year we've just had such incredible warm up. It's gone from basically, you know, ice 4 days ago to like, you know, 65, 70 degrees today, eventually 70 degrees tomorrow. Insane. But, you know, a lot of times it doesn't take a whole lot of warmth in a lot of the shallower lakes to really bring fish up to some shallow, you know, bays and stuff like that. But we'll see. We're going to pull out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the smallmouth stuff. We're going to jump in the truck and hopefully bang a bunch of crappies today. Stay tuned. All right. Well, we are on lake number 2 of the day today. Very exciting. Little northern Wisconsin spring fishing. I don't think you'd call it a bender because it ain't really like crazy hours. But water's really low out here. But a lot of times it doesn't take a whole lot of warmth to bring some of these fish up shallow. So it might only be a couple of days post ice out. But if you got like, you know, 47, 48 degrees in some of these bays, a lot of times these fish will surge way up there right away. And I couldn't tell you honestly whether these fish are going to be there or we're going to end up fishing them in wintering holes. But a lot of times kind of the deal is, you know, if they're not way up shallow, which my guess is they're not going to be, you check the wintering holes, a lot of, you know, deep kind of like 20+ foot holes. And if they're not in those spots, then you check some like brush or humps or points or neck downs leading into some of those very big spawning bays. So in one of those locations, I can guarantee you that we will find fish. I don't know which one it is yet. All right, well, we got all the way back here to the spot we're gonna fish, and lo and behold, look who's here. It's Mitchell. What is he doing back here? Why is he even here? What's he doing back here? I don't know, but my guess is if Mitchell's boat is here, there's also probably a lot of crappies here, right? And we decided to start with one of these big shallow bays first. And this is kind of like a big, huge bay here, real shallow spawning bay, and then an arm that goes off it. And a lot of times the warmest water, especially in the direction this wind's blowing, will be right at the back of this bay pulling up in here. And I'm not going to lie, as we were pulling up in here, I actually saw Mitchell said, oh, I could catch a crappie. And we're probably going to sneak around him. We're totally going to steal a spot, encroach on what he's doing here, and we're going to pitch back in there. But out in the main lake, we had water temps that were like 41. Back in here, we have 47 degrees. And a lot of times 45, 46, 47. When you start finding temps like that in the back of a lot of these pockets and bays, you'll have kind of like that first wave of males crappies pulling up way to the back of these things. They'll be real skittish and stuff like that. But we're going to spot lock up here, steal a spot, and hopefully catch some fish. Hooked up. Fish on. Feels like it's probably a halfway decent one here. Heck yes, dude. Early season crappies up in the timber. How can you beat it? Look at that guy right there. Man, does that feel good. First day breaking in some inland water. And look at that. We're catching crappies. We're catching smallmouth. Lots of fish going. Springtime is a great time to be fishing. This time of year, you got catch and release smallmouth inland and panfish season open, obviously. And there we go. Just another beautiful crappie. Things just getting rolling up here up shallow. Unbelievable that it's already happening, but we'll take it. We're here. Hooked up. Fish on right there. There we go. Man, are we catching them now? Not bad ones either. Oh, there he goes. Decent fish for sure. I mean, that one was probably about 10.5 inches long, I would say. And as it goes many times in the spring, what you'll see is the first blast of fish will just shoot way to the back of these bays. These real small little pockets like this. And you'll kind of just, you know, obviously Mitch is sitting right over here fishing. We're fishing. We just kind of got these fish like blockaded back in this little corner. And they're way up shallow. You know, as the spring goes on, there's going to be a lot more fish kind of all over the place in these little spots. But for now, it's just kind of way in the back. There's some fish back here and probably a few fish just kind of scattered around coming back to this real warm water in the back of this thing. Way back there.
Oh, God.
Babe. Dangle it out. You'll probably get bit there.
Okay.
And you might be able to bring him up over the tree.
Oh.
Oh no!
I got him. I got him.
She's got him. Well, Shelby launched her bait right over a tree. And I was like, you better fish it out because you never know when a fish could just bite and get you out of a snag.
Went over a tree and got this sucker still.
Hooked up. Fish on. Way in the back of this little cut here. Feels definitely like a decent fish here. Oh yeah, look at that one, babe.
Nice. That one's really nice.
It's definitely, oh man, Mitchell's got one on too. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Man, is that a good time. I don't know anybody that can come out and do this and not have a good time. Catching them way back in the timber like this. Too cool. We're going to get this guy popped off. Shelby's got one on too. What a great day. Am I right, Shelby?
Yes, sir.
Catch that fish. Catch that fish. Catch that fish. Yours ain't very big. Shelby's ain't very big, but there's a halfway decent one right there. Beautiful early spring crappies. Kind of starting to get all colored up. Just a beautiful fish. And very accessible bite for the next month or so here in a lot of these flowages. There you go. Most of the time you get the bigger fish, but hey, we'll take it. Beautiful crappies right there. I'll let that guy go and do it again. Too cool. All right, well, that is going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this one. A fun little multi-species day. Caught a ton of smallmouth right away. Pounded the crappies. Spring fishing is in the air, and man, does it feel good to be back in northern Wisconsin, fishing some inland bodies of water and catching the fish. Shelby, give me the sum up on the day.
Sum up. Killed it smallmouth fishing, and I wanted to keep it going, so came out here, chippo fluid, killed it on crappies. Now we're going to go get a beer with Mitchell.
Yeah, I think we're gonna take a break from fishing, edit this video, get it going up, but ton of great spring fishing opportunities going on. And yeah, just a lot of fun. It's a gorgeous day out here. It's actually way too hot to even be wearing the stuff I'm wearing anymore. And yeah, spring fishing's in the air. It feels amazing. A lot of the inland lakes, if they're not already open in northern Wisconsin, they're opening up very quickly with a lot of this wind and warm weather we have. A lot of the crappie bites will start going. We'll be doing a bunch more of that. Smallmouth bites are gonna keep going. Fish are gonna keep setting up better and better as everything kind of moves towards the spawning cycle. And oftentimes, obviously, shallow water is kind of the deal in the spring, which makes it a lot of fun. There's fish in a lot of areas where they wouldn't be the rest of of the year. So you get to throw open wood and catch crappies. You get to go, you know, pitch smallmouth way up shallow. So yeah, super fun day. Appreciate you guys watching. If you're not yet, please subscribe. Stay tuned for more content, and we'll see you guys next time. Mitchell says it was good day. All right, stay tuned for more. We'll see you guys next time. Punch it out, Shelby.